Welcome back to mckilliplife. This is Amber, and this will be an unpacking / project vlog for February the 6th, 2025. The first thing I started with was breaking down the mountain of boxes in the garage. As you can see, it's a wonderful before and after. And then that evening, I wanted Wes to make hamburgers, and so the task on the list was to clean the grill, because the grill had not been used for the entire time that we had been gone. So over 6 months of sitting there covered in the backyard. Really yucky. I'm sure it wasn't clean when we covered it up and walked away from it. So it was a process long overdue. And I had told Wes, this is something I can do by myself. It's not a project that requires both of us. So I'm more than happy to do it during the week. And this day, like I said, I happened to want him to make hamburgers, so it was a convenient day to work on this. And it also happened to be a day that was relatively nice outside. The main thing I'm using to clean the outside of the grill is a degreaser. It's Amway's kitchen cleaner. And then just some basic microfiber cloths and just giving it a good scrub. I was thinking I'd like to come out here and use a stainless steel cleaner on it. But after scrubbing it as much as I did, I was basically done. And I thought it was a good enough improvement to go from there. Next, it was the process of taking the grills off. This is they call the infrared grill, so you don't get direct flames on your food. So there's 2 layers of grates on the grill. Here I'm just knocking off all the ash and stuff that has built up on the second set of grates and taking it into the house. Next, I'm going to put some of the Amway multi-purpose cleaner in my sink with lots and lots of hot water. I've had really good success in the past with the multi-purpose cleaner, getting a lot of grease off of products. It's like I would soak the covers for your exhaust fan above your stove that collect so much grease and everything. I would have that, and I'd do the same process and just soak it in the sink, and it's amazing the before and afters I'd get off of it. So I knew it was a good product to use for this situation. And earlier I showed you I'm trying out a green tea. It's actually a chai green tea, and with a little bit of creamer and a little bit of sweetener, it was very tasty. I usually avoid caffeine, but I've been wanting to give green tea a try. So this first round is just get the big chunks off, get as much as I can off of it, get the ash off of it. I'm not really expecting it to be really, really clean. Just get the bulk of the dirt off of it. And you can see the water is absolutely black at this point. This is the one reason I was not looking forward to doing this project. Is this is one of the dirtiest jobs I can do in my kitchen, is cleaning the grill and or the smoker parts. But it's also one of the reasons why I love having a single basin sink, because it makes these jobs possible. If I didn't have a single basin, I don't know how I would do these kind of things. It's also nice that these top grates are actually coated in some way, so things don't stick to them. There's a couple parts where the coating has been chipped off and it's having problems coming clean, but overall they're very easy to clean. The bottom grates I don't think have any coating or anything on the metal, and so they are definitely having a lot of buildup problems, a lot of damage. We looked into the cost of replacing them. It's about $50, so it's not horrible, and we may end up doing that down the line. But you can see the sink is full of ash and charcoal left over from these grates, and it's just a matter of collecting it, putting in the trash chutes. I did not have a garbage disposal. They did offer me to install one when we redid the kitchen, but I've had lots of plumbers tell me don't put them in because they're a large source of plumbing problems. So even though I do like having them when I have had in the past, I was okay to heed the warning and stay without one. Although there is room for one under the sink now, and there's actually an electrical line wired in so that the next person after us can put a garbage disposal in, no problem. So at this point, I'm going to fill up the sink again and put more soap into it and just let the stuff soak. and I set my timer for 15 minutes and went off and found something else to do. Just in an effort to get as much of the stuff off the grates as possible. I know it's not going to be pristine or clean and wonderful like they are new, because we haven't cleaned this grill often enough for that to be possible, but at least it'll be better than when we started. So my timer has gone off, and here I am back at it, scrubbing. You can see underneath, you can actually see the water's clear. It's not automatically black, so the grates are definitely cleaner than when I first put them in, but with a more detailed scrubbing, more is coming off. Nowhere near as the first time, but still more. So this just gives me the peace of mind that I've tried my best, I've done what I can, and it'll be okay to move forward. Like I said, I wasn't looking forward to doing this because this is so dirty, and just that feeling of breaking in the sink with the most dirty job possible. But I was happy how the sink cleaned up afterwards and the countertop and everything, so it withstood the job and passed with flying colors. Out of curiosity, comment below about what is the dirtiest job you can do in your kitchen. And do you postpone it? And how do you encourage yourself to follow through and get it done when it needs to be done? Eventually the job was done, and I was able to drain the sink, and as you can see, there's still residue in the sink, but nowhere near as it was the first time. At least the job was done. In order to bring my sink back to life, I used Comet, which is my go-to. I know I can also use Barkeeper's Friend if I get those black streaks, because this is a porcelain sink. Most of the time, Comet does the job. The main thing I'm dealing with right now is just leftover silicone from when they installed the sink. There's a lot of just spots here and there that need to be cleaned up with a razor, but overall, it cleaned up fine. Next, it was time to put the grill back together again, which is a pretty straightforward process. Just laying the grates down, one on top of the other, and showing West, and then him saying it's off a little bit, and fixing it and lining it up, because the top grates need to cover the holes in the bottom grates for the grill to work right. But he was grateful, it was clean, and it was ready for the evening. The next project on my list was to unpack boxes to fill the credenza. And this is mainly games. The top has a lot of card games and blocks, your cards when you have a game that has lots of cards in your hands. Card games in the top, and the bottom has board games, lots and lots of games. And as I was unpacking this, I was wondering how many cards and packs of cards and how many games does one family need. But I was also telling myself, if it's within this container, then it's fine. That's what this piece of furniture is used for. And as long as it fits, then it'll be okay. But it was a fun puzzle, trying to unpack boxes that other people have packed for us and try to understand what their labels meant and what they called each piece of furniture. Like my storage unit in the dining room that had mirrored doors, they called the glass art cabinet. Okay. As long as I can figure out what you're trying to say, then we can work around it. But on this particular one, I call this the credenza. Some people call it the buffet. They called it the entertainment center. But as long as I could interpret what the boxes were saying, it was fine. We do like playing games as a family. This particular game, the box was not closing properly, and I had to open it up and rearrange all the contents in it in order to get it to fit back together again. As we were able to, we do like having family game night, and we would love to have friends over to play games as well. I should say, we like them and we use them so they can have a place in our home. And as long as they fit, then it's okay. On this day, I was trying to break down the boxes as I emptied them so I didn't create a larger project for myself later down the line. Once those boxes were done, I got in there and found that the shelf had fallen down. I was able to pick it back up and realized how crazy dusty it was inside, and I had taken the time to clean the outside of this unit a couple days ago, and so I decided to take the time to go ahead and polish the inside as well. I don't always do this when I'm putting things away, but on this day I had the energy and wanted to make it shine, so I took the time to do that. And I realized I must be missing a box because I was missing a game that was rather large. So I took the time to go looking and searching for the other box. And lo and behold, I found it. The game I was thinking about is my Scrabble board. A full-size Scrabble board barely fits in this cupboard. I'm glad I found it because it needed to be in there in order to arrange the rest of the games. But this was one of those projects that had a beginning and end. It was very simple to segregate the boxes out that had to do with this piece of furniture. And now that we had the new rug in front and we had it positioned on the wall, I felt okay with setting up the cupboard. It's always nice when you can have a quick win when you're unpacking. The last small project I had set aside for myself on this day was to work on the cupboard underneath the sink in the kitchen. That brown box was literally supplies we had in the kitchen at the rental that I packed up and just put in that box and literally moved over. And we had been living with it in that box for a while. And I just decided today was the day to organize it, and went out to the garage and got some wire racks, some options for myself as to how I wanted to do it. The arrangement of this cabinet had definitely changed. Before, my sink was centered and not off to the side. And as you can see, a lot of the space in there is taken up with plumbing. And I had even tried my darndest to get them to flip the sink so everything would be consolidated over to the side. And they basically said the way the sink was constructed, they couldn't do that. And so I was left with a half a cupboard that I could organize my cleaning supplies with. So the first step was just take everything out of the box and arrange it around myself so I can see what was available, what was down there, and what actually needed to stay down there. And just separate it out according to things I wanted to stay down there, things that needed to go somewhere else in the house. Go ahead and put them away in the other places in my kitchen. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of supplies that needed to be rehomed. Luckily, there was space in the rest of the kitchen for them to go. I was glad we had organized the rest of the cupboards previously, so it was just a matter of reorganizing things, shifting things around, rather than having to figure out a whole nother puzzle at the same time as putting these excess supplies away. So, thank you for joining me today for these quick wins around the house, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for tuning in. Feel free to like and subscribe so you can continue with us on our adventure. And until next time, have a wonderful day.